Joining me now, Republican strategist Krysia Lenzo. How damaging is this, Krysia, for the Republican Party right now?
I think a lot of this is, to be fair, fairly damaging, but I also believe that it's overblown. A lot of the rhetoric that has come out is primarily being stoked by the media, saying that this is a crisis, saying that the Republicans are incredibly divided. Yes, it is true that there is some healthy division within the Republican Party, but overall, we will have a speaker at some point, likely next week. It will be very competent, someone very competent, Steve Scalise, Jim Jordan. They are at the forefront of Congress at this point in time. And I feel very strongly that the Democrats ultimately will have a losing battle, especially if it's Jim Jordan. I mean, he knows more than anyone else the ins and outs of the Judiciary Committee. He will hold everyone to account, whether it's Republicans or Democrats. So I do believe we will get beyond this little blip right now. But for Republicans at this point, I'm a GOP strategist. We need to learn negotiation tactics. I think this could have been less public. That's where I would disagree with how they've handled it. But overall, this is not a crisis. It will be solved, and we will move forward.
How much power does the former president wield in the choice of the next speaker?
I think Donald Trump definitely has a significant amount of sway in terms of power over the Republican Party. I mean, look at his polls. He is still far and away the leader of the Republican Party, and people view him as such, rightfully so. Yeah, I mean, he even could potentially be speaker, although there is a certain rule 26, which may prevent him from doing so. It basically says a member of Congress cannot be a speaker if they're facing some indictments. But at this point in time, that rule could be potentially amended. I think the Republicans need him at this point in time as the president, not necessarily as a speaker, although he's been needling Nancy Pelosi by posting pictures on Truth Social of him with a gavel. And I think it's definitely something. Maybe he'll show up for 2 weeks as speaker, get things done, and then move on to becoming the president. He certainly is one who's able to multitask.
It's an interesting time. Anything could happen at this point. What happens to Kevin McCarthy moving forward, Krysia?
I think at this point in time, Kevin McCarthy, he served his purpose. I do not view him as a failure. I think most Republicans do see that he achieved a lot when he was Speaker of the House, but he failed in terms of getting that quorum that was needed. And going forward, he will still be effective. I think he genuinely believes in what he was putting, the legislation he was promoting. I don't view him as a failure, and many Republicans, I think, would agree.
Do you think that all that we have seen triggers a rules change for the next speaker?
Potentially. The fact that one person can basically overturn the Speaker of the House, it might lead some to think that this should be changed. I don't know, though. I actually view, and maybe it's a contrarian point of view, I actually think that all of our leaders need to be held to account. And even within the Republican Party, unlike the Democrats who were lockstep with Nancy Pelosi on every single issue, I think disagreement is incredibly healthy. And from an ideological perspective, whether you, on a personal level, like the 8 who voted against McCarthy or not, I think ideologically, most Republicans and Democrats agree that we need to curtail spending. And if it takes something like this, which is procedural and constitutional for that matter, to really look into our spending and where money, our hard-earned taxpayer dollars are going, then so be it.
And Ukraine funding will be a major part of that spending discussion. Krysia Lenzo, thank you for your time this morning. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.